one. Welcome to the Nerd Cave News. I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined along with, in Paris, the city of love, an unappreciated artist who is ahead of his time, creates unique portrait paintings by painting his subjects and rolling them on a giant canvas. Jean-Christophe Trouvé, request only, serious buyers inquire.
Jean-Christophe Trouvé. I like it. It kind of got a little morbid because it almost sounds like I kill them, and it's like I use them as my port. You know, I just use their dead bodies to roll my paint in my painting.
No, you're not like Sorori or whatever the guy
Soiree?
like the guy that makes like puppets out of dead people in Naruto.
Oh, Sasori.
Yeah, Sasori. You're not like him. That's not your art.
Okay, good.
Like they're alive. They're alive.
Oh God. I don't know if that's any better, honestly, but you know.
How did I read it wrong? I'm getting told by the creator I read it wrong. I have no idea. But guys,
I think this is the second time in like the last 4 weeks you've read something wrong. You're slipping, sir.
Derek, get off my lawn. This episode is brought to you by Epic Games and Patreon. Do you love video games and supporting the Nerd Cave at no extra cost? You can purchase anything on the Epic Games Store or Fortnite V-Bucks or Rocket League cars and add-ons on any device. This will be able to use our Epic Creator Code. Use NERDCAVE at checkout to support us with every purchase on the Epic Games Store. It's real easy, guys. NERDCAVE at checkout.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Derek, I'm waiting for you to go.
You're waiting for me to what?
Go. You saying I'm doing something wrong?
Okay.
But how can they go, Derek, and become something more? They're awfully on you. They're awfully on you. They're become something more.
Right. So if you want to hop on the ship, because guys, we've got a huge ship. And it's growing ever more. Like the biggest ship in Sea of Thieves, we're bigger than that, or we're trying to be bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to become part of that, you can go over to patreon.com/thenerdcave. Just like our wonderful crew members, just like our first mate Brandon Salty Santa Hicks, the helmsman, the conductor, our gunners Richard Newell, Daniel Sanford, Rushing Waters Yoga, Marilyn James, Brittany the Granny B Harrison. And our deckhand, Martin Seger.
How big of a ship is it? Like it keeps growing, right?
Yeah. Like
the more you eat, the bigger the
something. I mean, I did watch. Funny thing, a couple weeks ago, I did watch an anime called Gargantia on the Virtuous Planet, where it's like civilization just like freezes over, then it all melts and it becomes just a water planet. And they literally just build ships, and to grow their colony, they just attach the ships to one another. Like they have grappling hands and they just, attach to one another. So that was where I was more going along the lines of, I guess.
Just the way you were saying it, it sounded like a different word. And I was like trying not to lose it over here. I was like, how big are they?
Right.
Family friendly, guys. Family friendly.
Right. 100%.
B says that she likes it better if they weren't alive. Talking about your paintings,
right?
Maybe that's so instead of burying people, that you do that first. It's like
right.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. This is a weird episode, but this is the Nerd Cave News, where each and every week we run you through all the video game news that you need to know. You can watch us live over on twitch.tv/NerdCave Network on Thursdays around 9 p.m. Central Time, or you can watch the show later over on youtube.com/NerdCave Network. Make sure to hit the follow and the subscribe buttons so you don't miss out on anything, and like it so more people will follow and see the video. Our January Game Club game is wrapping up, guys. The time is ticking, as Derek has already reminded me. Hey, dude, you need to finish Halo Infinite.
Right.
I'll get there. Just
trying to keep you straight, buddy.
Just working on my ranked gameplay, which we'll get there in just a second. But we're going to be having a discussion next Thursday on Nerd Cave News, that's going to be the whole episode, is the breakdown of Halo Infinite. Is it good? Is it bad? What does the community think that have been playing it? So next Thursday, we're going to be talking all about Halo Infinite and what it means for the Halo franchise. So
Yes, sir.
come be a part of that. February 3rd, live during Nerd Cave News. It's going to be a big one, guys. It is going to be awesome.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Amy says, I messed up the submission, I think, or it was funnier in my head. I thought I put you use people to make murals with poo. That's what I thought you were going with.
All right.
Was that okay? Amy messed up the poo joke. Get it messed up the poo joke. Mess is a word that means poo as well, by the way, Derek.
Yeah.
Like fecal matter. You know what I mean? Like duty, turd, turd Ferguson. All of
what is happening right now?
all of those things mean poo. So it was that you roll people around in your own fecal matter because they're fecal festus.
What is wrong with you? What did you eat for dinner?
I had a sandwich. It is a Whose Line Anyway reference, says Amy. So speaking of Halo, Derek, I got an announcement for everybody. Tuesday night, we've been playing with our XP group, which is kind of my way of just getting some sweaty boy Halo in every week. And I'm happy to announce, Derek, I am ranked Platinum 4 in Halo Infinite, which is like high up there, baby.
You must say the real sweat boy.
Just
might even be a sauna boy.
Oh yeah, man. I'll be the sauna. You know, the saunas in Copenhagen can withstand great pressure.
So hey, congrats on that one, though,
Thank you, man.
So
Thank you.
I know you've been putting in a lot of time. I know, as we'll get into the discussion next Thursday. But I know you thoroughly enjoyed the multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching the E3 trailer last year, and you were like, you were hesitant, and all of a sudden you saw that multiplayer trailer, and you're like, I'm in.
Yep.
Let's go.
100%, and have not looked back since. And yes, this is just an announcement. In case you needed poo cinnamons to make your poo more cinnamon flavored, you could go look up some cinnamon. But if you need synonyms, I just gave you a bunch of those as well.
What, Amy, what did you put in your sandwich? Lord have mercy. What is happening right now? Are you good? What kind of sandwich did you have?
It's not a poo cinnamon sandwich, I can tell you that.
Where's Gordon Ramsay? Bloody disgusting.
I don't know what happened. This is why you're here, guys. This is literally why you're here. This is why you're here. You're here for this kind of action. But without further ado, let's get into the gaming discussion. Activision and Xbox has some updates. First up, there's still hope for new Spyro and Crash games to come, even under Microsoft.
So when Microsoft announced their plan to acquire Activision Blizzard, it shocked the industry. It had players from all platforms, though specifically PlayStation, wondering what will happen to all the IPs that Microsoft will still own. Specifically regarding classic PlayStation IPs like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon, both are storied franchises for PlayStation, and both are deserving of new entries. Thankfully, there's still hope for fans of both franchises. Activision Blizzard has practically every studio they could working support on Call of Duty, which we know that all too well, which included Crash Bandicoot 4 and Spyro Reignited Trilogy developer Toys for Bob. Phil Spencer has a different idea on how to run things and has confirmed he will be looking at the long list of IP that Activision Blizzard has for opportunities to continue classic franchises. Quote, we're hoping that we'll be able to work with them when the deal closes to make sure we have resources to work on franchises that I love from my childhood and that the teams really want to get. I'm looking forward to these conversations. I really think it's about adding resources and increasing capability. So while Spencer doesn't exactly mention either Spyro or Crash, the hope is still there. Both franchises have had a good bump in popularity thanks to the remasters that have come, and in Crash's case, a proper sequel. Fans want these franchises to continue, and that's clearly a market for them. It wouldn't be surprising at all to see them launch new Crash or Spyro games on all platforms while they come to Game Pass on launch.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think, us seeing Crash Spyro coming back would be great. I know we're going to get into one here in just a second that I would love to see come back. There are a lot of games under the Activision umbrella, and I know there
Yeah.
are so many developers that are tired of working on Call of Duty. Yes, it makes a lot of money,
Oh, yeah.
but my God, why does everybody got to work on Call of Duty?
I mean, I know you were royally upset after they put out the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, and then it's like, hey, good job. We need you to do support now on Call of Duty. Why?
Yeah, it's like, good job, Vicarious Visions. Instead of keep doing Tony Hawk, because you clearly show masterwork detail in this, we got a place for you here at Activision, and it's in the Call of Duty sweatshops.
If promoted to customer was a thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, I'm glad that Phil Spencer is looking at the whole catalog that Microsoft is looking to buy, not just, hey, we got the cash cow of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to get into that as well, but I think this
Yeah.
is really, really important that the head is saying, hey, I'm going to be talking to the developers. I'm going to be talking to the people that are actually working on these things, see what they want, see what they're passionate about, and move in that direction. Because when people are passionate about it, you're going to see quality come out of that. That's why Call of Duty has struggled in gamer satisfaction. Yes, it might sell hand over fist, but people are becoming more disillusioned with Call of Duty.
Yeah. Just because it sells well doesn't mean it's great.
Yep. 100%. Any additional thoughts?
No, I just, Phil Spencer always says the right thing. I know we'll get into it in just a minute here, but whether for right or for wrong, sometimes he always says the right thing and always knows what the gamers want. And I'm happy that he wants to explore this because, as we'll get into it here in just a second, what we saw Activision do with a lot of their properties is they just put it out to keep the license for another time period, because however the agreement is, like, hey, every 5-7 years you have to put out this game, otherwise we're gonna put it out to someone else who wants to use it. And Activision's like, all right, we'll just make one and be done with it. Pro Skater 5, looking at you.
Yeah, because Activision had a ton of licensing like tie-ins back in the day. Back in the day. Moving to the next one, Phil Spencer says Microsoft will talk to developers after reviving older Activision Blizzard franchises. Derek, making it difficult for me to read over here.
Listen, sir, you had issues before I got on. I don't want to even hear it. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, who doubles as the head of Xbox, has revealed that Xbox is going to talk to Activision Blizzard developers about working on dormant franchises. This news comes by way of a new interview with Spencer from the Washington Post, where he reveals his excitement about the IP Microsoft can now tap into after its acquisition of Activision Blizzard is complete. He specifically mentions King's Quest, Guitar Hero, and even Hexen, a long-dormant Activision Blizzard franchise that's basically a first-person spellcasting game. Spencer told the Washington Post, quote, "We're hoping that we'll be able to work with them, Activision Blizzard developers, when the deal closes to make sure that we have resources to work on franchises that I love from my childhood and that the teams really want to get. I'm looking forward to these conversations. I really don't think it's about adding resources and increasing capability. I really think it's about adding resources and increasing capability." Spencer also touched on a worry he has about tech companies not traditionally associated with gaming coming into the space. Quote, "They, as in Nintendo, have a long history in video games. Nintendo's not going to do anything that damages gaming in the long run because that's the business they're in. Sony is the same and I trust them. Valve's the same way. When we look at the other big tech competitors for Microsoft, Google has search and Chrome, Amazon has shopping, Facebook has social, all these large-scale consumer businesses. The discussion we've had internally where those things are important to those other tech companies for how many consumers they reach. Gaming can be that for us. I think I think we do have a unique point of view, which is not about how everything has to run on a single device or platform. That's been the real turning point for us looking at gaming as a consumer opportunity that could have similar impact on Microsoft. That some of those other scale consumer businesses do for other big tech competitors. And it's been great to see the support we've had from the company and the board.
Yep. And I think, this is important because when you look at this, he's understanding, Murdoch literally put it in the chat. Ooh, Hexen. Like, there are things that, like, I don't even know what Hexen is. I've never even heard of it until I heard this report, this interview on the Washington Post. Like, games that are past what we know. I would love to see a really good Guitar Hero game come out again, because a good Guitar Hero with good music sells. It does well.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole nother generation that have not played a good Guitar Hero game. They might have played Rock Band 4 and it was trash. So it's all of these things, like getting people to experience games that are back in the day, or like we all played Guitar Hero. Like that was huge when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And even Murdoch was like, back in my day games. Like it's that kind of stuff, and breathing new life into them, bringing those IPs back. King's Quest, like I know we got one a few years ago. I don't really know how it sold and everything. I never played it, but there's so many things. Like, yeah, we've got games that are literally tied into like different franchises and all of that. But who's to say that we don't get like a Spider-Man, like the 90s Spider-Man game with Stan Lee that, was the voice, the narrator and everything.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see a remake of that game. Like that game was a ton of fun based off the TV series that we got and everything. So like there's a lot of potential, like with Disney, like they're looking for people to make games, and it would,
I know we talked about it last week, but again, Singularity, bringing that back would be great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which Disney and Spider-Man, I don't think they own those rights, so it'd be Sony. I don't think Sony would part with
no
with
like don't you have enough?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So it goes back to, I'm glad that he's taking the time to really learn and really remember, because he's been in this space a really long time, that there's a lot more than just Call of Duty. And like, he's like, yeah, it's impressive, but there's so much more. And that's on the Activision side. There's Blizzard as well that's involved in this. There's also the mobile market that they're going to be getting into with Candy Crush and all of that with King. So like, this is a huge thing. And I know we've talked about it in almost ad nauseum, but I think it's a really, really, really awesome thing that Phil Spencer is wanting to do more with this.
Right.
Moving to the next.
You got to make that 70 billion back somehow, right?
Oh yeah. Gonna be making that money easy though. Hand over fist. This one kind of hurts the soul, but Bobby Kotick is an awful person. Overwatch 2 producer says Bobby Kotick cost the team months of development.
So, hot on the heels of Microsoft's announcement that it is acquiring Activision Blizzard for a staggering $68.7 billion with a B, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick said that the company's stock dropped due to Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 delays in an interview with GamesBeat. Many blasted the CEO for not recognizing that stock prices may have been affected by the numerous reports of sexual misconduct, harassment, mismanagement, and more happening at the company. Not to mention Kotick reportedly knew of it for years and did little about it. However, after this GamesBeat interview, an Overwatch 2 producer blasted Kotick for random projects on Overwatch he would force on the team, only for him to cancel said projects after months of overtime work. This producer also said that Kotick cost the Overwatch 2 team months of development. It goes on to say, Bobby, tell everyone about the random projects for Overwatch 1 you all would shove on us, and the team would do overtime for only for them to get canceled, and for months of Overwatch 2 dev to have been lost. Or how almost entire teams are turning over and citing you as the reason. Don't be shy. As you can see in the tweet above, Overwatch 2 producer Tracy Kennedy also said that multiple developers have left the company, citing Kotick as their reason for leaving. Kennedy continues in a reply to the original tweets and adds, "You hide behind scapegoats because you're a coward. The entire world will remember you to be a greedy joke, and there's nothing you can do to change that. We outlasted you and we won. Bye." When asked for specifics of the random projects by someone on Twitter, Kennedy said the team can't say specifics. Legally, workers can only talk about working conditions. Kennedy said this counts, though, especially when Kotick is slandering us to the world. It seems we won't learn about random projects Kennedy is referring to due to legal conditions, but it seems Kotick cost workers at Activision Blizzard a lot of wasted time.
Mm, mm,
Man,
Get
talk
it.
about a mic drop moment.
Get it. Now, that's just Overwatch.
Yeah.
How many?
Imagine what else.
Yeah, how many other teams have had to deal with that? Did Sledgehammer, did Treyarch,
Yeah.
did Toys for Bob, Vicarious Vision, did the other Blizzard teams, the ones with WoW, like how
Yeah.
many other people, like this would not be a singular incident that would happen 100%.
Yeah.
And Murdoch said straight call out 100%. And like I'm glad that it's happening, because I'm gonna call it right now, Derek. Here is a Zach Dykes prediction. Are you ready for this?
Okay. Guaranteed seal of approval.
Bobby Kotick, whatever way you want to say it,
Yeah.
will leave Activision once it's all sealed and all of that. He will already have a lined up deal for a new CEO position. And I'm calling it right now, Derek, because Bobby Kotick has proven that he makes money. He will be hired as the new CEO of GameStop.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Because they're looking for somebody to helm the ship, and he is as greedy as the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Especially since, GameStop's getting into NFTs.
Yep. I'm calling it right now, man. Calling it right now. If he doesn't go
I don't know if they'd be able to give him the pay bonus that Activision did, though, to be fair.
Well, a lot of developers are not going to let him come near them. But I think GameStop would be greedy enough to do something like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like he will leave there. He will either stay in the gaming industry, or someone that is outside the gaming industry that just makes products will see him come in, and he will take over as their CEO. He's not going to just go out quietly.
Yeah.
He's going to keep working and make that money. He's not just going to be like, oh, well, I didn't make $900 million as a bonus this year.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go home and cry. No, he's going to keep taking his ball and go and play.
Which that would raise the question is, would it be more apparent if he went to somewhere like Amazon, and maybe not as a CEO, but as a bigwig there, because they make money two hands over fist, honestly.
Yeah, well, and Jeff Bezos stepped down as like the running head of Amazon. So having somebody as cutthroat as Bezos, like,
yeah,
I know we're on Twitch. Oh, the stream just went down. I'm just kidding. So I really like, he's not going out. He is not going out quietly. Like, this is going to continue 100%. 100%. But let's get into some Call of Duty updates. First up, Phil Spencer confirms Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation.
So after Microsoft announced they would be acquiring Activision Blizzard, fans of Call of Duty with only a trusty PS5 or PS4 at their side began to sweat. We've had soft confirmation since the announcement that PlayStation players would have nothing to worry about, but now we have it from the horse's mouth, as it were. Phil Spencer took to Twitter to calm the nerves of all PlayStation fans who got their COD fix from the blue console instead of the green one. Quote, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship. Quote, had good... Oh, okay, and then it talks about it. So there's the confirmation. It was already unlikely that Microsoft would make Call of Duty exclusive, with it being the biggest game on consoles. Now, we'll get into it. We have another update and another two stories to get to, or another two articles to get to. But, he said this literally after our show. He literally came, like, I wouldn't say right after, but, the next day he came out and said this. And it was like, okay, you're already setting the foundation. Now, you got a question is there an asterisk by this? Is it... asterisk for now, or is it like just because he talked about whatever deals they have, they'll honor it with PlayStation just like they did with Bethesda, but it's like, how long will you let that leash go?
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize, like, Phil Spencer is going to be smart about this. Call of Duty, we talked about this a lot last week. Call of Duty sells hand over fist. It's like, okay, well, we keep Call of Duty on both, but we start pulling back all of the other products just to be on Game Pass or be part of our, our ecosystem and
ecosystem.
everything. But we keep Call of Duty out there as the, to use a reference about drug dealing. You get them hooked
Yeah.
on one thing and then you bring them in. Yeah. You got any of that Call of Duty?
Dave Chappelle has entered the chat.
Yeah.
Um, but no, and it's like Minecraft, right? Like
Yeah.
Minecraft is owned by Microsoft, but yet they put it on Switch, they put it on PC, put it on
Everything.
PlayStation,
Your
and they still
phone.
make a killing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, phone, and they make a killing. They even put it on the 3DS back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
So
think, we just got to look at that. Bethesda, I think, is a different beast in and of it itself. And that's why we're
yeah,
seeing different things with Bethesda, but Activision again. And this also like goes back to, it's one of the concerns of having a monopoly. If they brought Call of Duty just to Xbox, then they might not
yeah.
be able to get this passed through legally to be able to do it.
Right, because like you said, we talked about it last week as well. Like that was a concern of why the deal couldn't go through is if they did that. But like I said, there may be an asterisk attached. It's like, look, may not affect us now, but after that deal goes through, it's all ours, baby.
Yep, it's all theirs. But I'm excited to see what Microsoft does because Microsoft is thinking about ditching annual releases for Call of Duty.
So, and I brought this up last week. It's like the bigger question is not do they make it exclusive, is do they keep doing an annual franchise?
Yep.
While a many few factors still hang in the balance regarding Microsoft and Activision, one thing is certain: there will be changes coming. One of those changes that Microsoft is reportedly considering is altering the release schedule for Call of Duty. Since Call of Duty 2, the series has had annual releases every year. That could potentially change. According to the report from Bloomberg, ditching the annual release schedule is being floated around, and it's not surprising to see. It's difficult for even the best publishers and developers to keep that kind of schedule up, with a high level of quality each year. In the tweet from Jason Schreier, inside Activision Blizzard this week, lots of cautious optimism around the merger and Kotick being gone, excitement for more creative freedom under Xbox fear of layoffs, and new Call of Duty could ditch the yearly release schedule. Ubisoft was almost too late in recognizing that annual releases weren't going to work in the long run. Their decision to allow for longer development times is likely one of the key reasons why they decided to take the risks they did when changing up the formula with Assassin's Creed Origins. Hopefully we can see something similar happen here. Call of Duty has felt the same for so long, and there's a bit of a necessity and comfort in that. It could be time, however, to try something different with the franchise. I'm not sure what that is, but I bet it would take longer than a year to figure it out.
Yeah. Dude, this makes me excited. This really does.
Yeah.
I know it's like, oh, well, we're not getting Call of Duty all the time. It's like, okay, we don't get a Call of Duty every year. Warzone will be active. I know they've talked about Warzone 2, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. But Warzone will be active. They will continually put out stuff that way. We get more solid COD games, good stories, the multiplayer that is more fleshed out, that isn't just the same thing reskinned over and over again. Great maps. Like I think about, back in the day, maps like for COD.
Yeah.
They were
the hot.
Yeah. They were great. They were well designed. Now it just feels like, man, this feels like the same thing. Or, man, look at these like.
Well, they don't even do map packs anymore. Like they update Warzone, sure, but they took away. It's like when they realized what they could do in Battle Royale, they're like, we don't need season passes anymore. Screw the maps,
Yeah.
But I think that would be a great thing to come back.
Yeah, and like you think about the competitive scene and everything, like the competitive side of things. Like, yes, it doesn't bring in a huge ton of money, but having a healthy competitive scene really makes people want to play more. It wants the younger kids like, oh, I could do that. So they spend tons of time playing the game and everything. And I think it's so important to have a healthy game that has new maps, has, really well thought out multiplayer, like where there isn't there's been so many gun breaking like metas and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, figuring out how to balance everything. Like I think about Black Ops 2, man, that game, there were some like OP weapons in there, but it wasn't just game breaking just because you had X thing didn't change. Like you could still die. You could still, not make, make it count and everything. So I think it's really important that we're going to have this happen. And like you said, Ubisoft, they saw the writing on the wall. They had to make things change and everything. So I'm glad.
And it's interesting. You would assume, like, before this merger happened, that Activision would never do that, because like Ubisoft saw it in their sales, like they saw from what Unity to Syndicate, and they're like, all right, we got to cut it and we got to change
Yep.
what Assassin's Creed means to our organization. Call of Duty would have been like, just like we talked about last week, Cold War and Vanguard were the best selling games of all of last year.
Yeah.
What do we need to change? It's like,
Yeah, the bottom line just keeps getting fatter. Whatever.
Yeah.
They can complain
Right.
all they want, but they keep coming back. Eat that slop.
Let's do another one without a single player campaign. Let's do another one of those. It'll still sell.
Sounds good. Sounds good. This is a rumor, though. Activision to bring at least 3 more Call of Duty games to PlayStation, including Warzone 2.
So there are at least 3 more Call of Duty games reportedly being lined up for release on PlayStation platforms, according to Bloomberg. The report claims that Activision had already made plans to release 3 Call of Duty games for PlayStation and Xbox platforms prior to Microsoft's acquisition plans. As for the games themselves, they are believed to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 by Infinity Ward that'll be coming out this year, a new Treyarch-developed Call of Duty game for next year, and Call of Duty Warzone 2 in 2023. That ties in with what Microsoft's Phil Spencer previously said about Call of Duty's future on PlayStation, where he confirmed the company's intention to keep the series on Sony consoles. And we talks about how he had a good talk again. We've already heard many rumors about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 being this year's entry in the series, although we're still waiting for an official reveal. So it goes back to previously, it's like, is there an asterisk to this? Like, yeah, he had good talks with Sony leadership, but will this only last for 3 games? Because, and it's about time for Warzone had to change, because, Fortnite had to do a drastic change after many years. Like, when the sales got stagnant, they're like, hey, let's finally change up the map that people have been wanting. So it's interesting, like, how a Warzone 2 would look and how drastically different it would be.
Yep.
But you got to imagine, like, now, just spitballing here, since Treyarch's game and Warzone 2 would drop, do you think they would drop at the same time, or do you think Warzone would drop like in the spring of 23 and then would just do an update for when Treyarch's game launched in the fall?
I think that's what we see, because you look at when Warzone launched originally, it was in the middle of a cycle. And then you look at Cold War. When Cold War launched, that's when they updated Warzone a few months afterwards to include all the Cold War stuff within Warzone. And they just launched a new map for Warzone as well, because they finally got it for Verdansk and everything. So I think, we see a full game first, and then that's when we see a Warzone, a new version of it and everything come in. So
yeah,
I think it's a little while, but for me, in all of that, it's like, okay, we're getting a Warzone 2. If we are, we're getting 3 more PlayStation games, one of them might be including Warzone. If we are, it might not be 3 in a row, know, because like this merger will go through in 2023. And then that's 2 more games. Like, we might see, okay, this is all said and done, we get next year's. We might get the 3rd game or the 2nd game next year, and then it could be a few years before we see another full Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
And especially because, if Treyarch is next year, Infinity Ward's this year, because, we already saw Sledgehammer had to do a 180, a last minute delay and swap places with Treyarch a couple years ago. And you could argue whether it did them better or not, but it seems like Sledgehammer may be having some issues, so they may need to get their house in order first before they work on another Call of Duty game.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of that is like restructuring and figuring out, it's like, hey, do you want to keep working on Call of Duty?
Right.
Like, do you want, it's finding the people that are passionate about what's being made. And I think, Phil Spencer is really narrowing that down.
I think, okay, and hear me out. Like, this is pretty much, I guess you could say, one of my predictions. If they go this route of not annualizing Call of Duty going forward, I think they take Sledgehammer away from making Call, because I know Activision, because they did annual releases, it made sense for them to do 3 studios. But if you do this, you don't need 3 Call of Duty studios. I think it goes back to Infinity Ward and Treyarch. They rotate every couple of years. Um, every like maybe like 2 to 4 years, something like that. And Sledgehammer has arguably been making really good stories the last couple iterations. Like
Yeah.
it's Sledgehammer for the story, Infinity Ward for the multiplayer, and then Treyarch for the zombies. I think they put Sledgehammer in a position to just make story-based games going forward, or reviving old franchises that they can make good stories for again.
Yeah, I agree. Like looking back, like Sledgehammer has only worked on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Advanced Warfare, World War II, Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War, and Vanguard.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that have
Yeah.
worked on. And, like Modern Warfare, like the recent Modern Warfare, was
Yeah.
probably the most solid story that we've gotten in a very long time
Right.
with Call of Duty. I would love to see that instead
Yeah.
of, like Black Ops has been my favorite series, but I feel like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4,
Or
and then this last one, Cold War,
Cold War.
like it had a little bit more of the storytelling, but it felt a little thinner than 1 and
Yeah,
2.
100%.
Like 2,
Yeah,
man,
I know.
1,
Like
2,
Black
like,
Ops. Black Ops was, for a while, it was running king, and then all of a sudden it just dropped off. They got fat and happy again.
yeah. So I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks about what's going on with Xbox acquisition of Activision Blizzard. What do you think is going to happen with the Call of Duty series? Like, we're seeing all of these things. Let us know down in the chat. Let us know in the comments below. But we're going to keep moving on, guys, because we've got some Respawn and EA news that we're going to cover tonight. And it's going to be good. Murdoch says, I just want to play COD on Game Pass. I don't want to play the Acti money. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to play that game either. All right, getting into, my gosh, I just moved you over. Let's move 3 in there. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's try that one more time. All right, Respawn and EA news and updates, guys, because we got some hot stuff up in here. Some hot stuff, baby. Nah, hot stuff. Nah, I don't remember all. Something feeling. To have my hot stuff. Gotta have my hot stuff. Nah, stop. Nah, bah. Respawn is working on multiple Star Wars games, including a first-person shooter Star Wars project.
So Respawn Entertainment has revealed that the developer is working on multiple projects based on the Star Wars IP, including a previously unannounced first-person shooter set within the epic science fiction franchise. One of the new games is the previously rumored Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel, and this will be joined by the aforementioned FPS Star Wars game, as well as a new strategy title. Peter Hirschman is heading up the Star Wars FPS as games director at Respawn, while the strategy title is being developed at the newly formed Bit Reactor, which includes Greg Forsch, and will be published by Respawn. Lucasfilm Games VP Douglas Riley commented, quote, while we are excited to continue working with the superbly talented developers at Respawn. They have demonstrated excellence in telling epic Star Wars stories along with best-in-class gameplay across different genres, and we are looking forward to bringing more amazing experiences to the galaxy far, far away. Hirschman added, working with Lucasfilm Games on a new FPS is the Star Wars Galaxy is a dream come true for me, as this is a story I have always wanted to tell. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 is expected to be unveiled in spring 2022, with a release reportedly scheduled for later this year. There's no date for the Star Wars FPS and Star Wars strategy title yet, but those are presumably early in development than Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. Respawn was known to be working on a single-player game that is built around mobility and style, which sounds unrelated to the above. So, the thing I want to, like, an FPS is, great, because, we've done it, they did, I know it was DICE, but, they did Battlefront 1 and 2. We all love Jedi Fallen Order, but I'm more intrigued to see what the strategy title is going to be.
Okay, so I got an idea here on this.
Right.
Okay. One of my favorite RTS games that has ever existed is Star Wars Empire at War. It was an awesome, I love strategy games. I love Rome Total War 2. Like that's my thing. Star Wars Empire at War made me fall in love with this genre of games. It is fantastic. You could take over the whole galaxy. Like, just so good. Like, different troops, different vehicles, all these different things. The storytelling was really, really good. And I would love to see this. This is back in 2006. Like, this
Oh wow.
game came out. So it's been a very, very long time. They had an expansion that brought in like pirates and all of that we've heard in Star Wars lore, but we never really saw in action. Like, this game, like, the audience like score overall is like 4.5.
Right.
4.9. Sorry. 4.9.
Wow.
4.9.
A tenth of a point away from a perfect score.
Yeah, exactly. Dan, I loved Empire at War expansion. So, like, I would love to see that sort of game. Like, do you remember Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2, where you had like the galactic campaign where you could go and you could take over systems and all of that?
Right.
Well, this was it on crack, okay? And
Oh, wow.
you could literally build the Death Star and like have the Death Star like travel with your fleets. You could have multiple fleets and send them
Oh,
to different places. Like, the Death Star would move really slow, but it's like, okay, if it's not going well, guess what? I can just blow you up with the Death Star.
right.
You know, it had it had space battles, it had like ground combat. There were so many things that this game did well. I'm just talking about it makes me want to play it. My gosh. And we're going to get something new like this. Oh my Lord. Oh, Murdoch says
so anyway, right?
Murdoch's like, time to replay that game. Exactly. I would love to get in on that. But like, I'm hoping for something like this, something that's deep, got a lot of stuff. Like, it is a ton of fun. Yeah, it was a ton of fun destroying planets. 100%, Dan. But just hearing that Fallen Order 2 is going to be unveiled in spring and then reportedly launched this year.
Yeah.
Dude,
fantastic.
2022 is looking like the 2007 of gaming again. Like,
oh, I know.
BioShock, Halo, like so many things in 2007. Like, so many things came out in 2007. But man, 2022 already looks like it's going to be the most stacked gaming year.
Oh, I know.
In a very, very long time.
I'm about saying we keep getting release dates, for stuff like in the near future. Like, I think we got a couple more dates. Like last week, we finally got a date for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, out in April.
Dude, I can't wait for that. It looks so good.
I know.
It looks so good. Even though I forced it upon everyone to watch that 6-minute trailer, where it was worth every.
It was a good 6-minute trailer. Oh, though, let's be fair.
Yeah, and the combat looking so different.
Right.
Which I love. Dan says, I really love the space battles. The space battles were tons of fun in Empire at War. But that's not all the Star Wars news that we got for you tonight. We got a bunch. Rumor has it EA is done with Star Wars following Respawn's 3 projects currently in development. And again, like, Respawn, like 3 games. It's like, oh, you're the only people at EA that we trust with the franchise.
Right. Well, I mean, they arguably made the best Star Wars game out of this license because, that 10-year contract is coming up real quick. Mm-hmm. It's an exciting time to be both a gamer and a Star Wars fan as more developers come out with different takes on the galaxy far, far away. EA just today announced that Respawn would be taking the lead on the next 3 Star Wars projects to come from the publisher. After that, however, a new report from website VentureBeat claims that EA is done with Star Wars, meaning that these 3 games will potentially be the last we see from EA. As more developers put their spin on the series now that Disney has ended the EA exclusivity. It's unfortunate to hear because it means that fans won't be getting a few games they could have hoped for. Firstly, it means that this could be the last game in the Star Wars Jedi franchise, with the upcoming sequel to Fallen Order being the last one. The same aforementioned report also confirms that we won't be getting Star Wars Battlefront 3. This also means that the report also mentions that the new FPS title is being developed by the new team behind Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which is likely an indication that this new FPS title will be a VR game, potentially one that releases on PSVR 2.
PlayStation VR 2.
What does it say at the bottom of the article, sir?
I can't help that people are reporting this wrong. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? David Casserole.
Carcassonne.
David Casserole. Sorry, David.
Oh Lord. Casserole. Lord have mercy. I can't take you anywhere, I swear.
um, for me, okay, I think if Jedi Fallen Order does well enough, Disney will single license out to Respawn.
Oh
Again,
yeah.
like they might not have a, okay, you got 10 years, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But it's like, we will continue licensing stuff out to you because we
Yeah.
trust in Respawn and we really
Yeah.
want to see where this goes.
And
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I was gonna say, if they, if this when the sequel comes out and it does gangbusters just like the first one did, if Respawn comes to EA or Star Wars and it's like, hey, we have an idea for a third one, they probably won't even ask. They'll probably just like, here you go. What's the check you want us to write?
Yeah.
Because y'all do well, and we're starting to see them license out because we see Quantic Dream working on a Star Wars game.
Yep.
Where they're letting Sony develop the KOTOR remake.
Yep.
We're seeing, I think, isn't Ubisoft doing a Star
Ubisoft,
Wars game?
That's
so
Amy Hennig's doing that one, I think.
I think so. But yeah, so we see that Disney's kind of, Star Wars is taking the Marvel approach where they're not going to tie themselves down to one publisher. They're going to go to the studios that make sense for the type of games they want to make.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm excited to see it. I want to, the VR, like it being VR kind of turns me off a little bit. I'm just like, if we get a first person shooter, I want a first person shooter. I don't want an experience.
Right.
I want something that's full on. But we got one more Star Wars rumor. Star Wars Battlefront 3 is not in the pipeline. DICE is to focus on Battlefield because they're going to have to definitely focus on that.
Yeah, which we'll get into in just a moment. But as for this, DICE is reportedly focused on the Battlefield series and as such has no plans to work on Star Wars Battlefront 3, according to a new report published by VentureBeat. The news comes after Electronic Arts and Respawn announced that there are only currently 3 new Star Wars games in the works. Hold on, lost my place. In the works, including Jedi Fallen Order 2 and a Star Wars FPS game. However, conspicuous by its absence was any mention of Star Wars Battlefront 3. VentureBeat claims that all Star Wars endeavors at EA have been siloed at Respawn, which means no Titanfall 3. The studio will, however, continue to work on Apex Legends, its massively successful Battle Royale title that launched in February of 2019. DICE will continue to focus on Battlefield, which presumably includes a new roadmap for Battlefield 2042, following its troubled launch last November. It's already been claimed that EA is disappointed in the game's performance to the point it's considering making parts of it free to play, which we'll get into in a moment. So going to Battlefront 3, like, I'm gonna get your take on this because when they redid the Battlefield series,
anniversary,
one came out. What?
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Battlefield 2's anniversary. Go ahead.
Oh no. But from the start of this, like Battlefield 1, came out. It had good gameplay, solid mechanics, just was lacking any kind of story or a lot of modes, and it kind of fell flat. 2 came out to a lot of controversy, as you have so reported on over the years. But it redeemed itself. It got better over time, and you actually said it became a respectable game to an extent. So what is after with its tumultuous, releases and working the kinks out? How are you feeling about this? Because I feel like they were on the up and up after Battlefront 2. Like, are you okay with this, or do you feel like they should get one more shot at it?
I think let it lie for a little bit, to be honest. I think the first person shooter genre is a little thick right now. Even with Star Wars and everything. And also it's like, okay, Star Wars Battlefront struggled a lot. The anniversary of Battlefront 2 is where we saw the big change, and like that's when I got really into it again, and I played a ton of multiplayer like on the stream. But I think they're focusing on Battlefield 2042. Like there are a lot of things, and I think people just don't trust EA with this property anymore. This would be cool. I don't know if it would happen, but what if, like you were talking about with Sledgehammer, what if Sledgehammer got its shot at a Star Wars?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. would you want them to be a shooter, or would you just want it to be a different genre? Or
No, I would want to be a shooter. I would want them
okay,
to do what they do best. Like they tell good shooter stories.
yeah,
Like
that'd be great.
let me have
That
that.
would be
And
great.
then, the multiplayer would be really tight. Like Sledgehammer always does, good multiplayer for the most part,
Yeah,
other than, what's going on right now. But, like, I think it would be a really good way to, try something different. Like I do like the Battlefront where you can spawn in, you can have all of these different things, but
yeah,
gone are the days where you want to play Battlefront.
yeah.
Like Battlefront 2, the original was so fun. This one, it took a while, but I don't think people like if you put a Battlefield 3 out, you wouldn't sell much.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
So,
because of the trust that has been lost.
yep.
The trust that has been lost.
Especially with how the second one launched.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on, Battlefield 2042 free to play has been hinted at as EA is reportedly disappointed with the game's performance.
And this kind of blew me back reading this, or hearing about this for the first time. Electronic Arts has reportedly expressed its disappointment in the performance of Battlefield 2042 and is currently exploring a variety of options for the shooter going forward, including a free-to-play model. That's according to leaker Tom Henderson, who has a long-standing history with outing accurate information regarding all things Battlefield. Quote, EA is reportedly very disappointed with how Battlefield 2042 has performed and is looking at all the options. When it comes to the title, this is including looking at free-to-play in some capacity. Battlefield, okay. So we'll get into the other because this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to issues. Like I know it still has its issues, and I know some people still like it, and some people still like good on you if you're enjoying the Battlefield franchise. But when you look at it overall, when the developer is saying that it's a disappointment, now they're speaking more from a financial standpoint than anything else, but. Did this take you aback, like seeing that a very big first-person shooter franchise might go free to play?
No, not at all. Not at all. With the way this thing launched and leading up into launch, like the writing was on the wall. And what stinks is that this gives that assumption that a free to play game is trash. Like
Yeah,
that's
true.
the way, like if you look at like Halo's multiplayer is free to play. Halo Infinite's multiplayer is free to play, but it's banging, man. Like it is so good. Yeah, it's not battle royale or huge and all of that, but like it is so good. You look at Warzone, it's free to play. Like it has its issues, but it's still really tight as a game.
Yeah.
This game, on the other hand, has not done well. And Murdoch put in a few comments. I want to bring those in real quick. It said, turned a lot of players off, and that airdropping tanks on the towers is dumb. And he said, I'm a huge fanboy of the series, and I passed right now.
I know, because anytime we had a Battlefield story coming up to preview for launch, like he was excited. He jumped right in and was like, oh, Battlefield, you say? Let me see this. And then to come out and it fall flat. And so I'm conflicted on this type of when I saw this, right? Because while I feel like, yes, it is a disappointment financially, and it is better. I feel like going this early to free to play after delaying it a month, an extra month for polish or whatever. Yeah, you still didn't have group chat and leaderboards and all that mess. I get that, but I also feel like they're admitting defeat and they're like, maybe we should like not do Battlefield anymore.
Yeah. And Brandon even chimed in. He said, I had it and deleted it yesterday. So Brandon admitted that this game that he was so upset that we called trash is trash. Just pointing that out there. Just pointing that out there.
I'm gonna let you two fight that out because I'm gonna let you two fight that out. I'm not gonna get in the middle of this.
Another good free to play game. Dan points out Splitgate. Splitgate is fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. So, EA is seeing the writing on the wall, but also EA is known to pull the cord on something if it is not making money. Looking at, I almost said Lost Planet. My God, that brings me back. Oh man, that brings me back. They did that to Lost Planet as well, but Dead Space 3. Like they
Oh
put
yeah.
these like crazy, like you have to make this much money, and then it's how they work. But I think they're like, okay, we can make it free to play, and then we can microtransaction the mess out of people because it's
Oh yeah.
not Star Wars. They're gonna think that, and then you're gonna see reports come out they're microtransactioning the crap out of people.
Yep.
It's like learn. Don't be insane. Don't be insane.
In the membrane.
Next and second to last of our Battlefield news, Battlefield 2042 Zombies mode acts due to players using it to farm XP.
Which I didn't even know they had a zombies mode, so I get either. Yeah, I'll say it's news to me. Battlefield 2042 developer Ripple Effect Studios has axed the game's zombies mode as fans were using it to farm easy XP. Justin Way, senior design director at Ripple Effect Studios, said zombie survival has to go back into the workshop for a bit. Quote, we've removed the zombies mode and replaced it with gun game. Hopefully we can fix it in the future and keep it in alignment with standard game progression. We've also tightened our review process to make sure this doesn't happen again. Thanks for your patience and understanding. Yeah, I hear you on that. I think there was potential for the mode, but needs to go back into the workshop for a bit. Regardless, we need to be focusing on more important issues like improving core XP progression for Battlefield Portal. So yeah, I didn't even know it had a zombies mode, but I think we're not going to touch on this too long, but this just further shows that they had a lot more issues. Like, I don't want to say this was on the same level as Cyberpunk, because it is by no means, but having issues like this mode, like having an XP mode being spammed like this, not having voice chat, all this kind of stuff makes it feel like very Cyberpunk-esque, where they just wanted it to rush out because they wanted something to have on the fiscal quarterly earnings.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, okay, we got to get this thing out, got to get it out, got to get out, got to get out, and then it's not good. And not just because like it's not getting the support, it came out half baked.
Right.
It is what it is at this point. If they go free to play, like games can turn around and be good. Look at Hello Games with what they did.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. There we go. Thank you. They turned around and made a game good. Even Cyberpunk is starting to get better reviews and everything. So like it can happen, but it's like, let's get past, like, I wish, like, there's a TikTok thing. It's like, what would you love for, in gaming if it would go away? It's like games that are half baked and like not done.
Right.
It's like that would be something great to leave in 2021.
Right.
Last bit of Battlefield rumor news. Some of Battlefield 2042's portal mode can be made free to play, which probably just means the whole game is going to be made free to play, but we'll talk about it.
Right. According to leaker Tom Henderson, Electronic Arts is considering making some of the Battlefield 2042 portal mode free to play in wake of the game's disappointing performance. Apparently, EA is exploring numerous possibilities for Battlefield 2042 going forward, including free access to a portion of Portal. Portal mode allows gamers to mix and match various elements from previous Battlefield games, including maps. So you could have Spitfires from World War II going up against mechs from modern Battlefield games. And it goes on to the quarter earnings, but so if it's look, we've had 3 articles talking about how they're ditching a mode and making some free the portal mode. Obviously, like, I wasn't into a lot of the trailers they put out for 2042, but seeing the portal mode really got me interested. Like, that was obviously their big mode, and if they're considering making it free to play, 1, it probably will. 2, that says that's like, look, if we're so defeated, we're gonna make our best mode free to play. Like, hey, just play it, please, play our game, play something.
I think they're just trying to get concurrent players at this time. Like, if you're bleeding concurrent players, like Halo's even faced some of this because of cheating and like their poor microtransactions in their store, but if you are bleeding players, you've got to stop the bleed. You've got to get a reason of people to come into it. Going free is the fastest way to get people on there.
Yep.
So, I think that's what we see soon is like, I call it by the end of this quarter, we're going to see it go free to play.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, hopefully it'll get better. Hopefully they will find their footing and what should the game be. But only time will tell. And it's interesting. It's like this Battlefield is having such issues while DICE, which has been known for Battlefield games, is not even helping on it.
Right. 100%.
So let's move into the PlayStation news. PlayStation 5 screenshots and videos can now be auto uploaded to the PlayStation mobile app, which is great.
Right, because, as you talked about last year, they updated the app and it
Mhm.
was a lot better.
Yep.
A number of PS5 owners are reporting that they are able to automatically upload their screenshots and videos to the PlayStation mobile app. The majority of users reporting this feature are based in North America and claim that the auto upload feature is now available for any captured screenshots and videos. Previously, the PS5 did not offer the ability to automatically upload this content to the PS app. Instead, users had to manually share them on social media and then download them. However, from the looks of things, Sony has quietly added auto uploads to the PS app, which can be found by going to the media gallery on the console, where a pop-up will notify them of the feature. And it says automatically upload your latest screenshots and video clips and view them on PlayStation app. Screenshots and videos, let's see, will be the latter requiring a length of no more than 3 minutes, will be automatically uploaded to the PS app and will remain there for 14 days. You can then use the content in your chosen photo/editing suite as opposed to being limited to sharing them on social media.
Praise the Lord for this. My God, it was so like, yes, I'm able, like, thankfully I've got like an Elgato capture card, all this kind of stuff. Like, I was
Right.
able to, pull screenshots that way if I needed them for, thumbnails or whatever. I could look them up on Google.
Right.
But being able to just while I'm playing a game, like I just want to get a screenshot, boom, and it's already there. I'm not having to
Yeah.
share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook or whatever. Like being able to do that just automatically and be able to go into my app and then boom, like that is
Yeah.
huge. That is huge.
Yep.
So I'm thankful
So,
for that.
Shuhei's listening to you.
I know. I called him last night. I was like, hey, Shu, I'm gonna need you to fix this
Proud
app.
of you.
And like he literally did it today. Like, that's when you got power in high places, you know what I mean?
Right.
You got the ear.
You got to have the right elbows to rub, you know what I'm saying?
You got the ear of the man
Yeah.
himself. You take care of it. You take care of it. It was like Jim Ryan. Who? What?
Right.
Shuhei Yoshida.
He's not important.
Apparently, Murdoch says Empire War is on sale 65% on Steam for $6.99.
Wow.
That's really good. That's really good. Makes me want to play. I got too many games to play. Speaking of games that I'm going to be playing, Horizon news. Horizon Forbidden West to feature a strong and impactful ending. Everybody gonna die.
Please no. No. I do have my theories that some of the original cast will die in this one, but I'll keep that to myself.
Aloy's gonna die.
Who?
Aloy. She's gonna die in this one.
No. If they do, I riot. I'll go fly to Germany myself and be like, Herman Holst, I know you're over first party studios now, but I need a bone to pick with you.
Yeah.
Speaking during an interview with Every Eye, Guerrilla Games narrative director Benjamin McCaw confirmed that the upcoming Horizon Forbidden West will feature a single ending, but will nonetheless prove, quote, very strong and impactful. This obviously deviates from most RPGs nowadays, which featured multiple endings based on your choices. But McCaw did point out that players will experience moments where they will have to make very strong moral choices. However, the end result will be the same in terms of what ending you get. Elsewhere, the game's senior writer, Annie Kitane, touched on the game's story, which takes place 6 months after the events of Horizon Zero Dawn, and sees the Red Plague spreading across the land. Kitane said that this is the, quote, first indication of the critical failure of the terraforming operation. Horizon Forbidden West narrative also broaches the topic of climate change, ecology, and the environment, all of which are, quote, symbolized by the ferocious storms. And I don't think, yes, it's not commonplace in RPGs to not have multiple endings depending on what you do. But for Zero Dawn only had one ending to my knowledge. Like, I don't think it had. So this is par with the course for the franchise. Like, just because every RPG is doing it doesn't mean we have to.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't do it in our first game. Why should we change it up in the second game?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think it takes away from the narrative impact or the choices that you make within it. It's like the end of the story is here, but how you get there is going to be up to you and what you do and who you meet and who you interact with. So I think, it's important because like you can get so into the weeds. Like I think of Detroit Become Human. There were so many things, like it made it fun, but it's like, your endings could be so different. and like they're all great or whatever. But
Yeah.
this, it's like we know where we want to land the plane on this, and
Right.
I think it's just like it's your choice on what you want to make. It really
Yeah.
is.
And when you're making a story, you have a begin where you want to start and where you want to end, and you got to figure out how you get to that end path. So having only one ending will help keep the focus, because we've seen with a lot of RPGs, if they have multiple endings and they do a sequel, they have the issue of what's going to be canon, like what is the true ending
Yeah.
from the previous game, So they've taken that off the table in this one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, realizing you want people to enjoy the story and not,
Right.
like I think about Blade Runner. There are so many different endings to the original Blade Runner.
Really.
Yeah, there's the director's cuts, there's this cut, there's that cut. And it's like, okay. It like people are always like, what's the real ending? So,
Right.
don't know. Second, for Forbidden West news, Forbidden West main story length is comparable to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Speaking during an interview with GamePro, Matthias De Jong, game director on Horizon Forbidden West, has revealed that the game's main quest will take players roughly the same amount of time to finish as its predecessor. While he didn't put a figure on the completion time, De Jong did add that those looking to complete the game 100% will naturally have to spend much longer on Horizon Forbidden West. There's obviously a lot of optional quests tucked away in the sequel, so expect to extend your playtime quite a bit if you're looking to see everything the game has to offer. So that, and it's fun because the first one, the main path was pretty lengthy anyway. Like I'm assuming, I think it was at least 20 hours, 20 to 30 hours. So if it's this long, if it's at least this long, I'm already stoked. And then all the completion stuff, because I didn't do everything because the hunting lodges, like I'm still debating whether to go back. Exactly. Like, but I did 99% of what that game had to offer, and it was fun. And it made me, and now I don't expect to do Dying Light 2 and have like 500 hours to take to do everything in the game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that. But if I get a nice like 120 hours out of it, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. It's not about the length of the game to me anymore. Like when I was younger, it's like, oh, it's gotta be 300 hours or I'm not touching that thing. Like now it's like, does it tell a good story? I think about Concrete Genie, amazing game.
Oh yeah.
It was a shorter game, like, probably 15 hours, something like that. That game told a good story and it was done.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
It did what it needed to.
That's all I need. Like a good story, tell it within the time that you need to take. I don't care how long it is, so it being 30-ish hours, I'm down to clown. Let's do it. Let's get into this. February 18th is here soon enough. So I'm excited for it. But Derek, we're not done with PlayStation yet. We got some PlayStation quickies.
But first, Sony has denied increasing PS4 production to offset PS5 supply issues, which is an interesting point to take. PSVR 2 to feature over 800 PPI resolution per eye, which is a huge improvement over the original PSVR. Sony is developing an animated movie using Dreams. Gran Turismo 7 event is reportedly taking place on February 3rd. Destruction All-Stars is going free to play, speaking of games going free to play, according to codes found during server maintenance. Ghostwire Tokyo, a game we haven't heard of in a while, has a release date has been leaked for March 24th, which is just around the corner, another March release. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection upgrade will cost $10, but will offer both games regardless of which one you own. So if you just have Lost Legacy, you get Uncharted 4 just for $10. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection will let you import your PS4 saves to PS5, and new Uncharted games not ruled out by Naughty Dog.
I love me some Uncharted, man.
Yeah,
I love me.
I forget that's tomorrow, man. So
it's crazy. And guys, if you want to get Uncharted on your computer, you can use NERDCAVE on the Epic Game Store and support us. Just saying.
When it comes out on PC, because it's the PC release is delayed, but you can still pre-order it and probably use that code.
Yeah, there you go for the PC Master Race people. Ghostwire Tokyo, will it be good or will it bomb?
Time will tell.
I think it's gonna bomb.
I think it'll be middle of the pack. I think because the first iteration we saw was awful.
Mm-hmm.
The next time we saw it, it was better. So I think it'll be a nice 6 to 7 rated game on IGN. I don't think it'll be up there with Deathloop by no means, like in terms of like wow factor, but I think it'll be just fine.
I think it's going to be more like a AA game
Okay.
than a AAA game. I think that's what
Yeah.
kind of quality we're looking at on this kind of game. Murdoch, to your point, it will be on Epic. Apparently, it got delayed. I thought it was coming out on both at the same time. So, yeah,
I can fact check that real quick.
There's going to fact check the fact checkers. And if you have not played, like, okay, so me and PlayStation 3 games do not get along for the most part,
Right.
because of those floaty butt controls. Like, I do not like the floaty controls of the PlayStation 3 versions of stuff. The Uncharted Legacy did a lot to fix a lot of the control issues. From, like, I hate Resistance Fall of Man. I hate that game because of the floated controls. The story is cool, but I hate the floated controls. Same thing with Uncharted when it was on PlayStation 3. I couldn't play it because of the floated controls. The first one's got a lot of monster boxes, so you just got to kind of get through the first one. Gameplay wise, the story is great. And the traversal is great. It's just the monster boxes where they just keep piling out. But then after that, it's great.
Right. So, it comes out tomorrow for PS5, but it says Microsoft Windows 2022. Does not have a day and date.
Okay. So it's going to be a while before we get it on the PC, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So get it on your PlayStation 5.
If you have one.
Are you getting it?
Oh, yeah. I will.
Man, I will get to play that again. All right, guys. Let's get into the quick hits this week.
So to start off, we have a rumor. New Need for Speed game from Criterion Games due out in Q4 2022, which would be on par because every couple of years we get a new Need for Speed. Destiny 2 The Witch Queen Raid launches on March 5th. Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are out now in Fortnite. Following that, new Fortnite Pizza Party item restores health and shield mid-match. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask coming to Switch Online expansion next month. Dragon Age 4 won't launch in 2022, suggests report, which I doubt it. I didn't think it was coming this year anyway. Halo Infinite multiplayer will let you earn credits in Season 2 Battle Pass. From Software says Elden Ring takes about 30 hours to finish the main route. Following that, Elden Ring has been designed to reduce player stress without reducing enemy difficulty. Dead by Daylight and with the Saw crossover is out now. Some Apex news. Apex Legends Season 12 adds new legend in Mad Maggie and Olympus map on February 8th. Following that, Season 12 introduces a new 9v9 limited time mode called Control. Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the definitive edition, has, quote, done just great, says Take-Two boss. Watch Dogs Legion developer confirms support for the game has ended. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners sequel has been announced. Blizzard announces new survival game for consoles and PC. Crysis 4 officially announced by Crytek and is in early stages of development. Steam Deck adds dynamic cloud sync and enables seamless save transfers across all devices. Following that, the Steam Deck officially launches late February. No More Heroes creator Suda51 has talked with Marvel about working on a game. Overwatch's Lunar New Year is going on now through February 15th. Hogwarts Legacy and Gotham Knights reconfirmed for 2022, which was confirmed by Warner Media CEO. Crusader Kings 3 comes to consoles on March 29th. Dying Light 2 unveiled some of its 5-year plan of content, post-launch content, which will include a second story DLC, new weapons, new enemies, new stories, new events, and new free and paid DLC. New month coming up, guys, next week. So we have a new month means new free games for your Xbox and PlayStation. For your Xbox Games with Gold for February 2022, you get Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse for the entire month. From February 16th to March 15th, you get Aerial Knights Never Yield. From February 1st to the 15th, you get Hydrophobia. And from February 16th to the 28th, you get Band of Bugs. On the PlayStation side, your PS Plus games for February 2022 are Planet Coaster Console Edition for PS5, and then UFC 4 and Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderlands one-shot adventure, will be on PS4.
I'm excited for Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Like, I'm really excited about that game. Like,
yeah.
I'm not huge on the whole Borderlands, but like
Yeah.
Wonderlands like looks so like a ton of fun. And I'm
Well,
just saying this, Derek. If you want to co-op that, I'm down to co-op that with you.
you know, the more like I've never been big into the Borderlands series, but this one I keep seeing trailers for it, and I'm intrigued. So maybe. You know, I think it comes out March, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So again, another in a crowded launch window.
Yeah.
But it's nice because you know a couple months back they just made the expansion for Borderlands 2 free to play, or you know a standalone thing. So it's nice to the month before the actual like full on game comes out, you get to play the inspiration for it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited. A lot of great stuff coming in the gaming industry, guys. Let us know what you're most excited for down in the chat and the comments. Guys, it is going to be a huge, huge year for gaming. Like it is going to be absolutely insane. Like we're finally coming out of all the COVID delays and everything. So I'm excited. Damien Ex Machina free on Epic Games Store right now. Awesome. I don't know what that game is, but awesome.
It was a Switch exclusive. It was a mech game.
Oh, okay. I love some mech games. Freedom Warriors, baby, on the PlayStation Vita. Vita lives, baby. Vita lives in our hearts. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being with us tonight on this episode. Jean-Christophe Jouvet, thank you for being part of us. And hopefully your art projects will go well. Guys, if you haven't already, hit the follow button if you're watching over on Twitch. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button over on YouTube if you're watching on the replay. This has been Zach.
And Jean-Christophe Jouvet.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye. All right, guys, we out.